Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to be kind to other people than it is to be kind to yourself? Like when a friend makes a mistake, you might reassure them, oh, it's okay, everyone messes up. But when you make a mistake, your inner voice says something much harsher. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us are our own worst critics. But what if I told you that you could train your brain to be more compassionate, not just toward others, but also toward yourself? And that this kind of compassion could actually make you more mentally strong. This isn't just about being a nice person. Practicing compassion physically changes your brain, strengthening the circuits that regulate emotions, reduce stress, and build resilience. And one of the most effective ways to do this is through a meditation called loving kindness meditation. I'm Dr. Tracey Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos to strengthen your mind, fortify your brain, and build resilience. In the last video, we talked about walking meditation and how movement-based mindfulness can calm the mind and body. But what about rewiring the way that you feel about yourself and others? That's where loving kindness meditation comes in. So let's start with the science of compassion. Compassion is not the same thing as empathy. Empathy is the capacity to feel what others feel. Very empathic people can absorb other people's emotions to the point of exhaustion. Compassion is different. It's caring about someone's suffering while also maintaining enough emotional balance to offer support without becoming overwhelmed. It allows you to respond with kindness while staying grounded, which strengthens, not drains, your own emotional well-being. Your brain plays a major role in this. Two key areas involved in compassion are the anterior cingulate cortex, which helps regulate emotions and decision-making, and the insula, which allows us to sense and process emotions, both our own and those of others. Now, I know these are terms that might not be as familiar as the prefrontal cortex and amygdala, the brain areas that I talk about all the time. But just think, by the time we finish this resilience series, you're going to know a whole lot more about what's inside your head. And that's a good thing. When we practice compassion, these brain regions become more active and better connected, making it easier to respond with care instead of stress or irritation. So how does compassion rewire the brain? Well, you've probably heard of the fight or flight response, how the body prepares to either defend itself or escape from a perceived threat. But there's another lesser known response called the tend and befriend response. Instead of preparing you to fight, your brain shifts into a state that promotes connection and cooperation. And this response reduces stress and helps you feel emotionally supported even in difficult situations. And the best part? You don't have to wait for this response to happen naturally. You can train your brain to activate it more often through loving kindness meditation. What's actually changing in your brain when you practice loving kindness meditation? First, gray matter increases in the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, the same areas responsible for empathy and emotional regulation. This physical reshaping of the brain makes compassion more natural and automatic. We also see hormonal shifts. Loving kindness increases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that makes us feel connected and safe. At the same time, it lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that fuels anxiety and emotional reactivity. Another key change is improved vagal tone. Your vagus nerve plays a crucial role in calming your nervous system. When vagal tone is strong, you can calm yourself down more easily when faced with frustration, fear, or emotional pain. And one last brain benefit. Loving kindness meditation weakens the default mode network. If you've been following this series, I've talked about the default mode network in the past 2 videos. That's the part of the brain responsible for self-judgment and rumination. Over time, people who practice loving kindness meditation report less self-criticism, fewer repetitive negative thoughts, and more self-acceptance. Okay, you get how this works. Let's break down what this is. Unlike mindfulness meditation, which focuses on passively observing thoughts, loving kindness meditation is an active practice. It guides you to generate feelings of warmth and compassion, starting with yourself and then extending outward to others. It follows a simple structure. You begin by silently repeating phrases of kindness toward yourself, like, "May I be healthy. May I be safe. may I be at peace. Some people switch out healthy for happy, saying, may I be happy, may I be safe, may I be at peace. You can choose the phrases that resonate with you. After that, you extend these wishes to someone you love, then to a neutral person, maybe like a coworker or someone that you see in the grocery store, and then stretch your emotional muscles and you send these same wishes to someone that you're in conflict with. Eventually, you expand your focus to all living beings. It might sound like you're just repeating words, but this is very different from positive thinking or affirmations. The goal isn't to force yourself to feel a certain way. It's to cultivate genuine emotional warmth, even if it feels awkward at first. And research shows that with consistent practice, these compassionate feelings become second nature, not just in meditation, but in daily life. How does loving kindness meditation build resilience? One of the biggest ways that it does this is by breaking cycles of negative self-talk. When you're constantly criticizing yourself, it's harder to recover from setbacks. Loving kindness meditation creates a mental buffer, so when something goes wrong, your brain doesn't immediately jump to self-blame. It also builds emotional resources. Just like strength training makes your muscles more resilient, loving kindness meditation makes your emotions more flexible, so you bounce back easier from stress, frustration, and disappointment. And then there's social connection. When you regularly practice compassion, you naturally strengthen your relationships. You become more patient, more understanding, and better at handling difficult interactions. And that sense of connection, it's a protective factor against stress, anxiety, and even depression. If you're interested in more on this social piece, I have an older video talking about the damaging effects of social isolation. I'll link it in the description of this video. Here's how to start practicing loving kindness meditation. Step 1, start with yourself. Close your eyes and repeat, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I be at peace. Step 2, extend it to loved ones. Picture someone that you care about and repeat the phrases for them. Step 3, include a neutral person, maybe someone that you see often or you don't know very well, like a cashier at the grocery store or a neighbor. And the reason I keep mentioning a cashier at the grocery store, because presumably this is someone you see regularly, but you don't really have that much of a connection with. So they have some meaning in your life, but it's still kind of thin. Then step 4, you work with difficult relationships. If there's someone who makes you angry or you just can't stand, offer them these same kind thoughts. You'll have to remind yourself that the meditation is not for them, but it's for your own peace of mind. And then step 5, make it a habit. Start with just 5 minutes a day and build from there. Now, some people struggle with this practice, and one common challenge that people face is feeling like they're just repeating empty words. If that's the case for you, try and recall a specific moment when you naturally felt compassion or kindness. Maybe it was seeing someone help a stranger or feeling moved by a friend's support. Let that genuine feeling guide your practice. Even if you don't feel it right away, the act of practicing it is still having a positive effect on your brain. In the next video, we're going to take this brain training even further. Compassion rewires the brain, and so does mental rehearsal, a technique used by elite performers, athletes, and even astronauts. We'll talk about how visualization can actually reshape your brain for resilience. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you next time.